Hello, I'm Jeff Sachs. I'm director of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, and I'm absolutely honored and delighted to be able to join Digital Pacific, this very important conference in Samoa on how to deploy the digital revolution for sustainable development in Samoa and throughout the Pacific Islands. I have served as senior advisor to the United Nations on the Millennium Development Goals and now the Sustainable Development Goals for the past 18 years, in fact. And I will say that we have no stronger opportunity for breakthroughs in all of the key areas of economic, social, and environmental development than through digital technologies. It gives me a real pleasure to know that Samoa is committed to using the digital revolution to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, and I feel that we have opportunities that are really mind-boggling, extraordinarily exciting. You're going to explore those in your conference, and you're going to hear from experts on phenomenal progress and exciting creativity that's been achieved by countries like Estonia, which have become a kind of mecca for the digital revolution and how to achieve it and how to use best practices. What I see in the Sustainable Development Goals across basically all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals is that the new information and communications technologies, artificial intelligence, 3D manufacturing, and other technologies that are empowered by the digital revolution are transformative for every one of the Sustainable Development Goals. Think about it. Healthcare is being transformed by the ability of community health workers empowered by smartphones to be able to reach underserved populations by the use of big data collected from electronic medical records to raise the efficiency of the health system. Education, SDG 4, is being transformed, of course, by the online data now available to any student anywhere in the world in principle, if that student has access to broadband and a systematic strategy of gathering relevant information. We can connect classrooms, we can do distance training, we can have online universities, we can actually teach coding and information technologies online in ways that were absolutely unimaginable just a few years ago. Of course, basic infrastructure, electrification, use of renewable energy in an efficient manner, smart appliances that are energy efficient, are all tremendously empowered by ICTs, by the digital revolution, by artificial intelligence systems embedded in our appliances. And because of the advent of smart grids, countries like Samoa and other island economies that have really been bereft of an effective energy system in many places now have the ability to make highly efficient microgrids that can cover even remote places on the islands. Of course, payments systems and banking have been completely transformed, and some of the poorest countries in the world have been some of the greatest leaders in deploying e-banking, e-payments, the shift from physical currency to currency and e-payments. And this is something that has improved the lives of people, simplified transactions, enabled microfinance in a whole new way. And so the whole financial sector is being rapidly transformed. Agriculture is turning to much smarter systems, of course, smart systems to measure soil moisture, to get updated weather forecasts, to connect farmers with markets in real time, to enable remote sensing of environmental changes and soil quality. All of this is leading to a breakthrough in agricultural productivity brought about by information and communications technology. Of course, governance itself is changing fundamentally with the ability to have online public services, registration, licenses, voting, unique online biometric identification, which then can support a wide range of public services. E-governance, I believe, has the possibility of not only simplifying so many official transactions, but connecting people with government in new and effective ways that were simply not possible before, especially with the rural populations. And I would finally emphasize the jobs that will be created. Not only the improvement of health and skills through online health and education, not only the ability to use large data for management of health and education systems and improving skills, not only the online training that can be accomplished, but the jobs that are now possible through online international employment in new business models. I recently heard a talk by one of the leaders of the company Andela, which some of you surely know, which is a company that builds teams of computer programmers that are online and cooperating across the world on projects where people are working in many, many countries, but on a shared online team. And Andela uses online connectivity to train young people in computer coding. Then it hires them, gives them apprenticeships, and helps them on their way to find good jobs in various kinds of IT engineering, basically no matter where they live. And this seems to me, of course, a wonderful opportunity for some of the island economies where young people can now have international jobs without having to leave home. So instead of the model of long distance migration and sending remittances home, people online will be able to work at home and earn a living at home and be paid electronically at home. Of course, tourism and other sectors of the economy, including agriculture, as I've mentioned, will also be supported by information technology. Well, all of this is to say that building a strong infrastructure, training young people in the new technologies, connecting Samoa and the other island economies together, and building a shared platform for education, for healthcare, for agriculture, for e-payments, for e-governance, is now really the bright opportunity in front of us for the Sustainable Development Goals. As I mentioned at the outset, I lead a project called the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network on behalf of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, together with Simona Marinescu, who is your wonderful resident coordinator and resident head of United Nations Development Program. We are here to support the governments of the Pacific island economies to deploy ICTs, and the Sustainable Development Solutions Network will be very eager to follow up after the conference to see how we can contribute by bringing together world universities from around the world online with universities in Samoa and other parts of the Pacific to bring forward the real solutions using these new technologies. Well, that's a brief overview because you're going to hear from real experts. I'm just a great admirer of the leapfrogging and the breakthroughs that are possible. You're going to hear from some of the real experienced leaders of the digital revolution in your conference. But I am standing by to help in any way in follow-up so that the vision that you will be discussing and building at this meeting can be turned into reality. All best wishes on the Digital Pacific Conference, and thank you so much for letting me join you remotely.